Good morning, everyone. Am I audible, Anurag?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Yeah. So, on the behalf of Floral family, I welcome you all, and we'll just start in another 1 minute. And today's instructor is Anurag, and he will be telling all the intricacies of Python. I hope this session will be helpful to you. So, over to you, Anurag. You can start it in just 1 minute, okay? Like at 12:05, you can start.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, am I visible, everyone? Okay. So shall I start now?
Yes,
So
yes.
let me introduce myself first. My name is Anurag Fukan, and I am a computer science and engineering student in Guwahati University, and I am a subject matter expert of at the subject of Python in Schoolwell. Um, I think someone's voice is coming. Yeah. So I am a subject matter expert at Schoolwell, and today I am your course instructor for this course of Python. This will be a basic introduction and a hands-on experience. Along with, I will be providing some exercises that you people need to do in between. Okay. So this course is actually a little different than every programming course that I have taught before. So I have tuned it in a bit like this course is dedicated to the notion that every single person on the planet needs to be able to learn programming. You do not need to know any kind of mathematics or anything such as that. I do not expect you to know anything like such. So whatever your background, it may be commerce, maybe a computer science. So I call programming is for everybody. So when you are coming into the world of programming, the first thing you need to learn is the basics of the how programming works. So I will be covering the basics of programming first, and then we'll be moving over to Python. So I also want to say that certainly I would like to learn you how to program, but I will also make you learn how to become a teacher and how to be a mentor to other people. So I have seen many people, instructors, that they sort of assume too much that teachers don't even realize how much they are expecting from the students. So when you are done with this class, I wanted to go ahead and take another class for other people so that this world of programming can be shared with everyone in this world. So another thing that I want to teach you is how to be a teacher of programming. I want to take all my ideas, and then maybe reason is that learning how to program is a little bit like sort of foggy, uncomfortable. You could tend to get stuck on things, but those things aren't hard, I assure you. But when you are stuck on them, they feel really hard. Sometimes even me, when I'm trying to work on a project, that feels really hard for me, like what have I done, which is the error, and at the end I find that there's one small bracket that was missing, and that comes from sharing with my ideas with other people. So that is what I want to do. But sometimes it so happens with me that I'm working on something and my colleague is sitting behind me or beside me, and I show it to them. Then they show, oh, you were just missing one bracket. Oh, then I say, oh, okay, that saved me a lot of time. So yeah, that is the way we should be learning programming, actually, by implementing the ideas that you are going to learn through this course. So another things I want to say that this entire technology marketplace, and to some all degree, the business and everything like stock market analysis, data analysis, everything is sort of becoming more technical. And too many people, be it young or be it old, regardless they are of geography, India, or maybe in other countries like Europe, anything, they are all interested in the technical field right now. So it is a trending field that we need to understand. So that is why I call this thing, which is known as programming, that is for everyone, not for only the like background who have technical background, right? So I want to just the expand for forever the people who know programming. So yeah, that is my main idea. Um, now uh, so to become the part of the ecosystem, this is a self-sustaining ecosystem. By when you are learning programming, after learning the basics, you need to implement it by using projects. But today we are going to just learn the basics, and future, if we held any kind of more courses in the future, so I would expect that we will be able to share more projects and my ideas with you. So do leave a chat or any doubt if you have in the chat box. In the middle also you can ask questions in between, but when I'll be giving exercises, I expect you to do them as well whenever it's necessary. So When we are in the this is a this programming course is on the notion that our lives have been surrounding by technology, uh, that I want to be a maker of technologies. For example, we have this mobile, right? You This is a front end, this is the front part. So we see that there are many things going on. We Whenever we try to do something like open your phone, make a phone call, we just click on it and it just magically happens, right? But what programmers do is to understand what people want in their lives, or even the things that you want in your life, and to implement what is going on in the background. That is what is important when you learn programming. So to change your perspective from this side of technology, we have to looking at from the when you have to look at from the other side. Uh, where you might you might like to read a little bit of data, and I believe that everybody should basically know how to program. So let us move on. Yeah so yeah so let us see the computers that we are using want to be handful. So when computers are programmed, they're hardware designed, but it's designed and wired. And when you apply electricity to it, it basically has one question, that is, what do you want to do next? What is next? And if you think about your phone and all the apps that you have on your phone, each app is like, what to do next? What to do next? So as a programmer, your job is to serve the user. The user has something they want to do. Maybe they want to play a game like Angry Birds or stuff, or maybe they want to do data analytics, they want to talk on the phone. Then you have to be a real advanced computer scientist though. And so as a user, we just have so many wonderful programmers who have put so much software and makes these phones and the hardware that we are using to be intelligent. The hardware in itself is not intelligent, but as our job as a programmers is to act as intermediaries between the hardware and software, and to build something wonderful and beautiful. And so you can kind of imagine that your job as a programmer, um, is when you are trying to sell your software, you are trying to imagine what the world wants. For example, the greatest example we have, that till 2007 we did not even know what are smartphones. Steve Jobs had this idea in his mind. Even he said that you have to make products for them, people that even people don't know they need. And look at us now, we are using smartphones everywhere, and programming is everywhere, artificial intelligence is everywhere, but programming is the basic of whatever want our hardware to train on. So our hardware just does one thing: ask us, what do we want to do next? But we need to understand their language in order to describe them what we want them to do. So that is where programming comes in. So we have to just put instructions and instructors into the programs, and they will be helpful to us. Now let us moving on. As I said, you are we are trying to flip you from one side of the device to the other side of the device, and you are the maker, and you can think of this as a tool to manage your calendar, to drive your car, read a map, or whatever. When you look at it from the other side, you look at it from being a programmer, you use things like compilers and interpreters, which we'll be covering in the next part. So, and programming language networks, and we are actually have tools that we're going to learn to use. Python is a tool that programmers on the back side of this computer that you are using use to make new things for the front end to be to the computer. So this is the basic of why programming is necessary for hardware. So programmers actually anticipate needs. So maybe you are interested to be a developer, right? Most of the people are developers on app stores, such for example, Google Play Store, the iPhone App Store. So in order to make those things, we need to know programming. So in order to build applications for people. So for the market evaluation is that iPhone, for example, iPhone applications have over 3 billion downloads. Just imagine the market space for such an opportunity. Their programmers mainly leave their jobs so that they can be full-time iPhone developers. So this is one of the examples that they actually programmers have to find the needs from the other people so that they can fulfill such their needs. Now, what is the exact motivation of you to be a programmer? Why we should be a programmer? Well, the kind of gross motivation for professionals is to build something for someone else to use. That's the basic thing. You might build a guest book for a website, but that's generally not the first thing you are going to do with a programming skill, of course, because whatever you are going to learn today is, will be a sort of basic, but we can build it up later. You might get some data, you maybe for data analysis. You may be an accountant, you may be a lawyer, maybe you want management system for your farm, maybe you want people to come to your farm and understand like who which case is registered in which place of the article. Such kind of examples are done by the programmer for the people to make their daily lives easier. Um, as somebody to got some data, maybe you can't get a report out of this data. It's something you're really curious about. Somebody says that you can knock out a little piece of Python code to count up the number of times that this happens on Saturday. So counting is one of the main easiest programming things that we do. For there is a function called count, so we'll be also learning about all those things. And so when you write 40 lines of code, just 40 lines of code to this language, we come to know that how what tells us what exactly the data is. That's how it makes our life simple. For example, one more application example is like Google Forms. Whenever you want to take entries from different people, it's so easy. Just send the link, you get the data, and it's done. You can analyze it. Just some lines of code, right? So this is the importance of exactly why you need to be a programmer, right? So the key difference between writing a program for someone else and writing a program for yourself is to consume or just a few other people is the rigor. You don't have to be such a professional just to write a code, so for that you have to can do for yourself. If it works and it gets you is a gets the data you want, then it's done. For example, when I started as a programmer, the first thing I had to do was make something like renaming all the files in my folder at once. So that is a very easy. Python is a scripting language that which I will be explaining what is it. So since Python can be used to do such small tasks, that is how I build it for myself, right? But whenever so this is one more application of programming. If you are a programmer, you can also make your own life a bit easier, you know. um if you want to become a professional programmer, then you kind of have to study how to be more precise and more engineering and stuff, but we are not going to worry about that in the beginning set, of course, because this is a beginning. What we want to learn is the mechanics and language of programming, and we'll want to like take you as I said, from the user to being a programmer. From that stage is that I want to transform you from. And as a programmer, you start thinking on yourself as living inside the computer. You are a consumer out there. You are clicking on buttons and stuff. And so as a programmer, you are going to write code. That code is going to use data networks and CPUs and memories and do something for the user. Yeah. So we are trying to change your perspective and sort of pull you into this field of programming. So what are you doing in that computer? What's code? What's software? What's a program? Well, a program is a sequence of stored instructions. But yeah, so this is a basic introduction of what we are going to do as a programmer. Now we are coming to the main part, that is Python. So what exactly is Python? Python is a general purpose programming language that is often applied in scripting. So what does it mean? So exactly, Python can be also which is it means that it is an interpreted language. For example, we are writing a simple code, one line, so the interpreter will just run that line of code but not run the entire code and give you the error. If there is no error in the particular line, it will go to the next line or it won't. So that is why it is called a scripting language. It goes on line by line. So it can be also be used as a general purpose language as well as a scripting language. So since mainly uses an interpreter, so it is known as an interpreter language. Huh. So let us dive into just for 2 minutes. We'll just finish off with the theory. So, what is the history of Python? So, it was exactly invented in Netherlands by Guido van Rossum, and Python was conceived in late 1980s for, and its implementation was started in December. So, what happened was that Guido van Rossum was fed up of C++ as a code, because since that time only C and C++ were the more languages that were mostly widely used. But he found it very annoying to use, actually, because it was very difficult to understand at first. So he wanted to start creating something fun, but at the same time which is very powerful as well, so that people can use it for fun as well as for power uses. So that is why he created Python. But the source of the name is very funny, actually. He was a very big fan of Monty Python's Flying Circus, which is a famous TV show, and from that only this name called Python came. And so, but it has been always open source. Open source, it means that it's not proprietary, or it does not contain any license. You are allowed to modify this language as in the order as you want. So that is called open sourcing. Now, so this is the founder of Python language. So according to him, Python is an experiment in how much freedom the programmers need. Too much freedom and nobody can reach others' code. Too little and expensiveness is endangered. So what he means by that, whenever we are writing a C++ code, maybe if you know what C++ then you will see that in C++, the mainly we have to define a data type. We have to define, like, this is a variable, this is that, this is this. We have to include the libraries. But however, in Python, you don't need to declare anything. The variables will be declared automatically to a default value. So that's what he meant. He wanted to, like, abstract the actual things that are going on behind. Only the real owner of the program can know. Or if he adds comments, that is different, but it's more difficult to read a Python particularly code because of abstraction mainly. So now let's move on to installation of Python. So I guess everyone is having their own laptop. So let us now download a Python from python.org. Now let us see. We'll be clicking download Python. And from this link, https www.python.org. Now we'll be clicking the latest version that you are going to get. The download Python for 3.10.1 is the latest version right now, but you can get the previous version as well. But I would suggest that you get the latest one. So do everyone have their own laptops for practicing the exercises? I What I mean to say that it will be hands-on later. Okay. Can I get any feedback from you guys? If that's okay.
হ্যাঁ ল্যাপটপ আছে
Okay, okay. You do have laptop, right? Okay, fine. So yeah, you should be downloading this Python from here. The click on the download Python button from here. Then what you are going to do is we have to download something called the integrated development environment, which will be doing our codes on. Since Python is an interpreter language, we need basically an environment so that we can write our codes and it can compile us and make it easier for us to make, like, organize our codes and stuff. So in our case today we'll be using the PyCharm Community Edition. So you can just search PyCharm download. JetBrains.com. You can download you need to download the community edition. So since I am using a MacBook, so my operating system is different, but like you have to download this software, open source, that will do that task for you. Okay, so that is how you need to do it. But if you have a Linux or a terminal, then you have to click on whenever you have installed Python. Now let us install it again. So it's downloading.
স্যার
Yeah.
বলছি যে আই এম কারেন্টলি আউটসাইড হোম, সো এখন যদি কিছু মানে এখন কি তুমি কিছু কাজ টাজ দেবে পাইথনের প্রোগ্রামিং প্রোগ্রামিং, তাহলে হয়তো আমার
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay, so moving on. So we have this dialog box mainly. So
24 হলো
introduction, then
24
but whenever you will be installing your Python program in your Windows computer,
দিয়েছি
there will
না
be an option.
দিয়েছি 4 টাকা দিতে পারে না, তবে
Can you
4 টাকা
please
আছে।
turn off your mic if you don't mind?
আমাদের 4 টাকা হচ্ছে না।
Okay, yeah. So what you have to do is whenever you installing it on a Windows machine, what you have to do is add Python to path. That's what dialog box you have to select. That is only different in here. Okay, so we are going to continue and agree and install it.
ओ खुदा हम गेम में संजू आ जल्दी गेम में आओ संजू संजू डार्लिंग आओ गेम में आओ
So yeah, our installation is complete now. Now, after installing the PyCharm, we have to basically open the PyCharm software wherever you have installed it. Yeah. Yeah, so there will be new project files. I have already done it before. So what you need to do is click on new project, right? So you have to select this Python, and in the interpreter you have to select the basic interpreter as Python as 3.7. Okay, whatever you have installed in your computer, that's what you have to select. Okay, so now you have to create one project. Your workspace will be created now. Let us in order to create a new environment, that is, you have to right click on this folder and now go to a Python file. Now you'll be prompted in the dialog box to create a name for your file, right? So I would suggest that you write it as a name, a main file. Okay, dot, then you have to add the extension as py. So it is not necessary in case of Python, but even if you are doing it on like other softwares like Visual Studio Code or something, when you add the extension .py, it means that this is a Python file, or this signifies it as a Python file. So that is why you need to add always never forget to add the extension as .py. Okay, so yeah. So now we are going to, one second. Yeah, so let's start with our programming part. So before we start the programming part, I want you to know few basic concepts so that you can grasp the like the whatever it is going on more easier. So all programming languages like C++, Java, whatever it is common for all programming languages. So what is important is the main components of a program is variables, functions, loops, conditions, and an algorithm. So let us understand these concepts with an simple example. So let us take a real life example. We are trying to make an omelette, right? So what will we do? We'll break 4 eggs, mix, add some salt. If you have cheese, add it, then mix and bake for 5 more minutes. So this is a simple thing that we are going to do. We do in our daily lives, right? So it's very easy to understand. Now let us break this step-by-step process and understand what makes programming as a part of it. So, but before we go forward, we need to see whenever we are making omelette, we have as a programmer, we need to make sure that whatever we are writing is not wrong. That means we do not have any errors in the program, right? So let us see in this process, like break 4 eggs. That's not clear. MXX and add some dash, whatever. But the exact instruction is not clear, right? Chef may not understand whatever you have written here. So that this kind of errors is known as syntactical error. That means when you are giving an instruction as a program to the compiler or the language, then they do not understand what you are trying to say. That's why you get syntactical errors. So this is a real life example. And suppose you don't know how to make an omelette, and I give you this set of instructions. Will you be able to make it? No, right? It will be coming out as something else. You won't get the desired result. So that is why whenever you are writing a program, whenever errors come out, you need to fix the errors, which is called debugging. These errors are known as bugs. So now let us break down this process into parts. So different components of our programs we will be explaining. So let's see, for example, we have eggs. The number of eggs equal to 4. So that is a variable, right? Number of eggs can be 5 or 6 or 7. It may be different. You need to make an omelette of using 4 eggs. Yeah, you need to make an omelette using 4 eggs, right? So so values such as 4 and 5, and you have to bake the egg for 5 minutes. So that 5 is a variable. This 4 is a variable. That means the number of eggs and the time for which you are going to cook the omelette is a subject to change. For example, now here, number of eggs is a variable that I have declared in this part. As you can see, nb eggs equal to 4. That means it is the number 4 is being assigned to the variable nb eggs. So these variables can be of different type, which is very, very important. Okay. So there mainly I will be giving you the basic types, that are strings, integers, floating point. So what is a string? A string is a collection of everything like numbers or letters, etc. There is one more integer the variable data type, that is known as character, which means only you can intake assign the variables of, like for example, a or b or abc. What is your name, suppose, huh? Then the answer will be, suppose, Nitin. Okay, Nitin is an example. So that is a string or a character that doesn't contain any number. Your name can't contain any number, right? So that is the reason we need to specify the data type. We can't, suppose we are selecting two variables. Okay, we have to find the sum of two numbers. Okay, so in order to find the sum of two numbers, we need two digits. We don't need two characters, right? So we have to assign digits to the variables so that they can be added. So this is the reason that these data types are very important. So strings, integer, floating point, etc. are numbers. Now, moving on, the operations such as add the numbers, mix and bake are called functions. We are adding the salt, we are adding cheese, but and these are functions. What we are adding and giving us the final result is the main motive, right? So these things that we are doing step by step is are functions. So the next thing is that, if you remember, I had written that if you have cheese, add it. So what does it mean? That it is a condition. You have to add cheese only if it is present with you. So this is not a compulsion. So if you have butter, you may add that. So this is known as a condition statement, which means that one way or the other you have to make a choice, and that one of the choices will be true in this case. So this is how the condition statement wants. Now moving on, supposedly the chef has made one omelette, one guy has liked the omelette, next guy also want another one. So chef has to repeat the process, right? So why not the chef directly asked how many omelets do you need? For example, maybe four. Then you have to repeat the process for four times. So but in why do we need to, in programming, why what we have to do is rewrite the code, right? So we do not need to do it. So in that place, what we use is called as loops. In loops, the process will be repeated until the desired number of times is attained. So when you are using loops, make omelette for four times. This is one loop. entire process will be repeated, ending, and again starting, and ending, and again starting for a total of 4 times. And as a summary, the entire instruction set that you are giving to the chef in order to make the omelette, that format is known as an algorithm. Okay, so this is the basics of coding that you need to understand. Okay, so let us write the first program in Python using the IDE called Python. We have opened our Python here. So let us write what the first program is in every programming language is hello world. So let us start with hello world, right? So what we have to do is write print. You'll be using 2 parentheses and then using inverted commas and write hello world. So yeah, now in order to this is the code that you have written in the IDE, right? So you have to run this code, right? So what you have to do is, after selecting the right Control S so that this code is saved, now right click here and click on run main 3. So as you can see, this is our output. So this is how it works. It is just as simple as this. You are just writing printing hello world, and now yeah, so the hello world is being printed. Let us try to print something else. Whatever you will be printing here will be added here. One second, okay? Yeah. Okay, let us write like print hello, my name is Anurag. So yeah, so this is one simple syntax that we are going to follow. Now we are saving it, and now what we are doing is running this program. So you can see in the output console we have hello world, and now hello, my name is Anurag is being printed in the console output. So this is the front end that you are watching. As a user, you will be able to see the part which is hello world and hello, my name is Anurag. That is only the part. As a programmer, you have to serve the user, so you have to write these statements in order to make the language understand what you need them to be done. So now let us move on to the next part, right? So we are going to add variables. So as you know, I had said that what is the exact number of omelets eggs that you need in order to make one omelet? 4. So we have been assigning that variable to the number to the variable, right? So we are going to implement this in the same way in the Python program. For example, let us take an example like name underscore of the person is equal to, in quotations you have to write Anurag, let's say, or whatever, like Anish maybe. Okay, so what we can also do is now print this variable itself. See, it is as simple as that. So what we did here is assign the variable name Anish in the part, assign the like the value name Anish in the part of name of the person as a variable. Put this variable into this particular function. What this function does, it is an inbuilt function of Python. What this function does is print. Its main purpose is to print. You have to make it understand what it needs to print. So when you are putting the name as name of the person, it will be printing. But I want you to understand one important thing. Even if you write here like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, and Z, C. So this is one variable as well. Python will have no problem accepting this as a variable. But what problem it will the problem that will be occurring is in you when you will be debugging the program, because whenever you are writing a program you won't have a perfect set of instructions in the first place, right? So whenever you are setting a variable name, it is important that you keep in mind that you have to keep meaningful variable names. For example, ABC, for example, here we have used name of the person, but maybe name of the person is a too lengthy one, so that is not practical. So let us make it a simple name, right? Name, saving it, and this will run as well. So yeah, this is as simple as this as it can get. So it is important that you make a meaningful variable name which is also simpler to use, easier to understand, and is also syntactically correct. Now let us move on to concatenation of strings. So what is concatenation? For example, we have hello and we have world, or we have hi, and second one is how are you. So adding those strings into hi, how are you is known as concatenation. But this is very important in Python. So why do you need its importance? We'll be seeing later. But now let us see how we need to concatenate our strings. For example, let us write print um, my name is, and we'll be adding a plus here, which is the syntax, and write Anurag. Okay, so that is how it will be adding. So if we try to print this statement, if we try to print this statement, you will see.
হ্যালো দাদা, হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ
ডিস্টার্ব করেন, সরি। বলছি তোমার ফোন নাম্বারটা তুমি কি টেক্সট মানে পাওয়া যাবে? তাহলে সুবিধা হতো, পরে ইন কেস কোনো ডাউট থাকলে তোমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করতে পারতাম।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, ওকে ওকে, শিওর।
ঠিক আছে, তাহলে পাবো কোথায়? এখানে চ্যাট স্ক্রিনে পেয়ে যাবো, না তুমি আবার
Okay, okay, I'll be providing it in the chat, don't worry.
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ।
Yeah, okay. So yeah, so print my name is Anurag is one way to concatenate nation of strings. But we have added is mainly the space is also important. If you don't add spaces, then it can come out different. See, you will see that this in order to add two strings, we have to add space between two strings so that it can come out as well. Now moving on. So now let us apply this concept that how concatenation is important. Let us say my name is Nitin, suppose. Okay, so print hi, then we'll be adding a plus, then we'll be adding the variable, then we'll be adding is my name. So this is one example which can be used. So suppose you are not sure which name you are going to add, right? So name is a variable that has been assigned to the value of Nitin. Okay, Nitin has been added into inside the name, and this name is been printed with the variable name called Nitin. So let us run this program and see what exactly is happening. Hi, Nitin is my name is the answer. So as you can see, this is the way that variables are assigned and the strings are concatenated, and just
பாவா என் பர்ஸ் மட்டும் எடுத்துட்டு வாங்க பாவா எடுத்துட்டு வாங்க பாவா போன் வச்சுக்கிறேன் பாவா
excuse me, can you just turn off your mic? I'm just hearing it from you. Yeah, so moving on. we have seen this print statement. Now, even if you are like adding that dot full stop at the end, for example, hi name is my name. We can add as many as we want. But if you add full stop here, this will give us a syntax error. Okay. But it means that Python does not understand what is being written here. As you can see, you will be given an error here. So in order, whenever you are writing something inside the print statement, you need to make sure if it is not a variable, we need to make sure that we put it inside a quote. Always use quotation marks so that it does not give you a particular error. Yeah, so now, okay. Here we have to, you are seeing one more error right here. What is it? It is that name is not defined. Why is it showing like this? Because we have not assigned any value to the name. So we always need to remember whenever you are using a variable to print out, if you do not have any value for that name, so the now the value of name is null. You haven't entered or assigned anything to it. So in order to make the error go away, you need to at least add something, or maybe add a blank string, doesn't matter, but you have to assign a default value for the variable, so as for the code to work. So it will just show nothing because I haven't added any value to name. But if I end like Anish, yeah, Anish is my name. So this is how it works. Okay. Yeah, this is the simplest thing that we have learned yet, but when you will realize later that this is the most important part of Python, playing with strings. Actually, strings are the most important things that you can learn as of yet. So um, so if you do not use the quotes while assigning, that will also be becoming a problem. Let us now
আচ্ছা বলছি যে
see
একবার এটা
another
জিজ্ঞেস
example.
করছিলাম, বলছি যে মাঝখানে প্লাস সাইনটা কেন অ্যাসাইন করছো ওখানে?
Can you please? I am not Bengali actually. I do understand the
Okay,
basic.
fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you please tell me that why are you assigning the plus sign in the middle for
This
arbitrary
is
string
the
entry?
Okay, yeah. So why I am doing it, because whenever you are adding a variable in between two strings, that is concatenation. So that is why you need to add a plus sign. For example, you are adding my name is plus Anurag. This is just a demonstration. Whenever you will be adding a variable, this is the basic syntax. So that if you don't add the plus, this will give you an error. Let us see what happens if you don't add the plus. Okay. This
Yeah,
is an
sure.
invalid syntax. I'll show you. Okay. Remove the plus from here. Yeah. Run this. See, this is an invalid syntax. So this is a basic rules and regulations that you need to follow. For example, the basic example that I can give you is, suppose you need to add two numbers. Okay. How will you write adding two numbers? 2 plus 5, right? 5,
Yes.
you'll get the answer. So how will you write it? How will you explain it that you need the sum of two numbers? You will write 2 plus 5. So the same thing is being applied to a programming language. There are certain set of instructions or rules that you need to follow. You just can't write anything on your own. Whenever you are using a language, suppose you are learning German or French, maybe you need to learn the alphabets, right? So that you can make up a language. You just can't say anything you want that and the person is expected to know. So in order to make Python understand, we need to speak their language. That is what I have been emphasizing on. So in this here, this is a basic syntax. When I say syntax, it means that it is a rule that you have to add it. So whenever you are adding plus, it is signifying that hi is being added to name, the rest of is my name is being added to the rest of the variable. So this means that these strings are being joined together. That's why we are using the plus sign. Do you have any other doubt?
No. I'm asking that if I'm printing the name Anish, then I can simply enter that my name is Anish now.
Yeah,
Why
yeah, you can.
that
You
my
can.
plus name and then is my
Yeah,
name?
yeah. I will tell you why it is important. I am showing you that this is also one way to do it, but I will show you why putting the variables is important. Because suppose you are printing, what is your name? May I ask you?
Yes, my name is Tridib.
Sorry.
TRIDIB, Tridib.
Okay, okay, right. So suppose I'm going to write asking you your name, right? So I have asking in a form there is a certain blank name Tridip, right? Name Tridip. So that is the input that you have to, as a person who is filling up the form, has to enter, right? Whenever you are giving an exam in Google form, what do? What is your name? You have to put the name as Tridip there. Then it will be printed out in the certificate. So here, why am I using this name? Because you can assign any variable, any name to that name, this variable. For example, Tridip or anyone else like Anurag, Nitin, anyone. So you will just put the name equal to. Suppose I'm telling you by giving you an example. This name may be different, right? So let us see maybe Tridip, right? So whenever you are putting Tridip, the answer will be coming out as Tridip. Whenever you will putting Anish here, you will be answer will be coming out as Anish, right? So this is why we need to use the variable. We can't change the string whenever it is running, right? So we need to use this variable.
Yeah,
Now,
for
what?
arbitrary variable, mean arbitrary string entry, we have to use that plus name plus sign.
Right. Arbitrary string, right? If you are not sure what the value of the variable name will be, then you have to use such kind of string so that you can show it. Now, I will be showing you how you will be applying this. I'm just showing in the syntax. This will be applied whenever you will be taking the user input. That will be covered in the next part. Now, we are coming to that. Okay. So yeah, yeah, this is the explanation that I have taken apart. Now, the one more thing that is important that you need to know, whenever you write name equal to, suppose maybe whatever name, okay, Anish. Okay, so when you are writing this is totally wrong. Why? Because in this syntax that Python understands, you are assigning the name variable to another variable name from Anish. Okay, so since Anish is not defined, that is Anish does not have any values. So it is not possible that you are assigning to a name. For example, you are saying that B is equal to A. If you do not know what is B, how will you know what is A, and how will you even compare it? So this is a totally wrong syntax that you have to avoid. Okay, so whenever you are assigning to a variable a string, then you have also always you need to put a colon, the quotation. Okay, so this is very important. Always remember, do not put without quotes, because it will mean that you are assigning a variable to a second variable. So this is a most important thing. Now, let us move on to the next part. Okay, now let us move on to the next part, that is we have to ask user for the data. We are, as of now, printing a particular string, but we do not know what is the name of the user and how are we supposed to print it out, right? So whenever we have to interact with users, we have to get data or provide to in order to provide some kind of result. For example, you are using a machine, you are entering two values, then the machine, whatever it is designed to function as, it will give you the result. So if we do not have any input for the program that you are using, that then programming is of no use, right? So Python uses an inbuilt function. There is one more raw input, but I'm not covering that. There is two inbuilt function actually. The one is raw input and one is input. But just I will just put the input part, because this is the latest thing that you need to know. Raw input was from Python 2. It's not necessary now. Okay. So what this input function does, it takes the input from the user, then evaluates the expression, and then so it will, and again it will also identify if the entered string is like an integer or a character or number, etc. And if the input provided is not correct, then there will be either syntax error or an exception, which is given by the Python program. Now let us see an example. So here, input, what is your name? So if we are going to run this program, here in the output console, you can see what is your name. Whenever you are entering any data into a website, you see this exact thing. This is the basic thing that we are doing, taking input from the user. So here it is allowed to input the user as Anurag Phukan. Okay. But as you can see, there is no any other kind of output in the output console. Why? Because we just took the input as Anurag, but we did not show it, right? So what we need to do from the input function is whenever input is taken from a function, we need to store it to a variable. That is why I was implying the necessity of a variable in the string. Did you understand, Tridip, why I was implying the need of a variable? So name is,
Yes, sir.
yeah, okay. So name is input of what is your name. So whenever I will be implying Anurag as an input, the Anurag part string as a string will be stored in the variable name. Now print hi. Now after putting hi, I'll put a space, then I'll put name here, then I'll put welcome to our class. So we are using a variable here, right? Now we are going to run this. What is your name? Anurag Phukan. Hi Anurag, welcome to the class. Now did you understand why I was implying the use of a variable? So this is the reason. So this is the way you are going to take input from the user. Okay. So this is the way. Now moving on. Yeah. So I would also like to imply that even if you are entering nothing like an empty string, that is also one way that the string will be accepted. Okay. So if you run this program again, and we do not put any value, then the empty string, an empty string will be assigned to the variable. So yeah, this will be simply, since name is empty, we'll just see the output as hi, welcome to your class. But we know there must be some person that will be entering the value, right? Or somebody may not have just entered the name properly or correctly. Maybe it is an error, but there is no way to find out, right? So we need to put a condition that if suppose the person is not entering anything, you need to repeatedly ask for the name, so that only after he giving some kind of name, the result will be displayed. That is how conditions are applied. Okay, now we can also add more variables here to make the program more interesting. Suppose age equal to input what, one second, what is your age? So yeah, printing now and your, let us change the statement a bit. Your name is last name, then adding space again, and your age is plus again age. Let us try to run it. What is your name? Anurag Phukan. What is your age? 21. Your name is Anurag Phukan and your age is 21. This is how exactly a Python program works. Now you know like how something like this works, right? So it is as simple as this, adding strings, adding stuff, right? Now I will show you a simple calculator thing. Okay. Now how does a calculator work? I will show you as a program name n1. Suppose we are adding n. Okay. Input. Enter the first number that you want to add. This thing will be printed on the front end, okay, that the user will be seeing. Okay, then suppose we'll putting this variable first, n1 and n2, then input, enter the second number that you want to add. So now what we are going to do, we are going to do a certain function, that is sum of the number. So what we need to do is define another variable named n3 equal to n1 plus n2, right? Then print the sum of the numbers is n3. But we have to also understand that this is a string, so we have to, there is a different syntax for numbers. Enter the first number that you want to add. Let us say 5. Second number, let us say 10. Yeah. So now one more important thing. Why do you think that this came as 510? Why, does anyone have any idea why? Why did it happen? Does anyone have any idea why did it come
স্যার
as
ইন্টিজার নিতে হবে সেজন্য কি?
Right, right, exactly. This is the reason that because since this is a string, we need to change the data type, which is known as typecasting. Okay, typecasting is the process which you need to match the data type. For example, you can't add an alphabet to a number. You can't add a variable to a number, to a constant, right? So that is why what we need to do is change the input.
ওখানে মেনশন করে দিতে হবে, মানে you have to mention that it's an int value.
Yeah, yeah. One second, okay. So I think this is a wrong way. Yeah, we'll figure it out at the end, a little bit late. But I think there's something wrong with the syntax. So yeah. So now let us go for the part where we are selecting the part part is called data validation. So what exactly is data validation? Is that whenever we are trying to input a number in a string or a string in a number, we need a particular data type, right? So this is called data validation, that whenever we suppose in a field of name you are adding the phone number, which is wrong. So that is why you need to add a number in the place where it belongs. So that is called as data validation. Now suppose we are wanting to print the name, and what happened is that you print you enter the input as the as a phone number. So we need to make sure that that is wrong. So we need to show the user to please add the correct data type. So what I need to do is an exercise. Okay, at this point, take what you need to do is take the input from the user as the name and the age and display it in the output. Can you do it, anyone? If anyone can do it in 5 minutes, I will wait for 2 to 3 minutes. If anyone can, I'll write the question here. Is it okay? Can anyone do it? This is the first exercise that you must do, I think.
নেম আর এজ এন্ট্রি করে, তো নেমের ওখানে স্ট্রিং নেম দিয়ে তারপরে মাই নেম ইজ প্লাস ওটা, এন্ড দেন এজ উইল বি লাইক অ্যান ইন্ট ভ্যালু, দেন কম করা হবে।
You can write your code if you can in the chat box, if you can. If you have your laptop as well, that will be very helpful for you as well. I'll show you the solution in a bit. Yeah, did anyone do it? I forgot to add the integer part in the beginning. I was thinking what had gone wrong. Yeah, silly mistake that happens. Wait a second. Okay. I hope everyone has done this exercise. So now what I was making a mistake here is that I hadn't defined what I was saying, that we need to change the data type, which is known as typecasting, right? So what I forgot to do was that put the int in front. So now it is coming correctly. The answer is 15. So this is the basic application of Python, the most basic part that you can put as like add. Now if we put like here subtracting it, so putting in the subtraction sign here, then maybe write sub here, whatever the variable name that you want to write, it will be okay. So yeah, yeah, now it will be small mistake. Okay. Yeah, the answer is coming correctly, 5, right? So yeah, this is the basic calculator stuff that we did. But yeah, before we move on, what I need you to understand that this is one kind of line that is not understood by Python. So this is called as commenting. Okay. So in order to add comments in the program, why do we add comments? Because for example, you are working on a very large project, right? So whenever you are working on a very large project, you tend to forget what function had which done what, right? For example, this function had to for example, taking the real life example of making an egg. So adding the cheese is one big function that you have made. Then adding the salt is one big function. This is just an example. So if you tend to forget it, what you had written as a code, so to make the code easier for you to understand as well as for other people to understand, what you need to do is add comments. So in order to add comments, these comments are completely ignored by the Python interpreter. Okay, so these are not executed. Whenever Python sees the symbol in here, that is hash, whenever it sees that, then it ignores the line and moves forward. So this is not taken into consideration while compilation. Okay. So but what we need to do, what whenever you need to, like, if you think that I need to add one more line to the comment or write a very big paragraph, what you need to do is add triple quotes here. Okay. Multi-line comment. So this is how it is done. Okay, whenever you are adding more than one line, so you have to add three quotes. But mainly we prefer it to use one liner only. We do not simply use the multi-line comment as much. So only we will be using the single line here. So this is what is known as commenting. So if you have done the exercise, we can move on. So data validation, in this part we'll see that suppose we have added the age. I'll show you one thing that wait, I'll be adding this section so that you can take it later from me if you want it. I will be explaining why data validation is important. Suppose name is, so if we are going to run this program, you see that this comment that we have added data validation will completely be ignored. So this is not taken into consideration whenever the Python program is running. Okay, this is only for the user to take notes. So you can add like taking user input. This is how, like, comments are useful. Okay, so let us be putting Anurag here. What is your age? Let us say ABC. See, this is the exact problem that you have with Python, because they do not understand exactly that age should be a number. This is why data validation is important. Now, in order to do data validation, we'll be in forward session, we'll be seeing how to do it by using something called try and accept. Okay. So moving on. Yeah. let's try print soon you will be 22 plus age plus 1. Or so we'll be using this code later. Okay, this try thing, I'll be commenting it out right now, and you will see why this how we'll be using it for data validation. Okay, so I, as I said, I had told you about the different data types, right? The strings and then the float variable, etc. So let us see how it is being shown by Python. Okay, so let us see name equal to Nitin, then age equal to 30. Now
Hello,
let us,
sir. I'm disturbing a bit. Sir, can you
yeah,
please send me the this Zoom Meet link in WhatsApp? Cause I have to join. I was outside home now. Then I'm now. I want to join it from laptop now. So please, can you please send me?
yeah, ma'am, can you please help him out with the thing, Sweta ma'am?
Yeah, I'll just post the link in chat.
Yeah, okay, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, so we are talking about the type of data, right? So let us see name, then print type of data as age. Okay, now let us try to print this. So as you can see that the output is showing class str class int. What it means that the class will be explained later. It is a bit high level concept which comes in object oriented programming actually. So whatever we are doing right now is procedural. So procedural means it goes on step by step, but in object oriented programming the things will be like modular and stuff. You need to add modules, so that will be covered later. But let me tell you the basic thing, that the class is a collection of objects. That means it uh, it contains the same type of data in itself. So example, this we are hearing here we are seeing that class is str, right? Since you are adding the variable name as Nitin, we are seeing that class as str. So Python automatically identifies the type of data that is being entered into it. So, but however, if we just write 50 here, we'll also see that it will become as int. But there is one more data type, that is 1.5, suppose, that is being added. Let's name right 1.5, which is now float, right? So floating point variables means that if you are using a variable which contains decimal points, that means it is a floating point variable. So these are the main types of data that you need to understand: the integer type, the string type, the character, and the float type. In the float type, we will have decimals containing in it, and then only the integer type will only have without the decimal part. So if you are entering in a variable, suppose 1.5 into a variable which is already an integer, so which is a type of integer, so it will completely ignore the fact that it is a decimal if we convert it, suppose. So that is I have shown you that in Python how these things are interpreted and being explained. Okay, now let's move on to the next part. 1 second. Just So now, as you can see that only we can concatenate the data which are of same type, right? So, for example, we have seen that string, adding string and the float variable, which is not possible. So, as you have seen in the calculator, we have had shown you that we had to convert the type into integer before we are adding it. So, let's see here how we can to solve this problem of the calculator part. Suppose integer type is 0 comma 1 comma 2 etc, and just writing it here for that so that you can use it for later for reference. Okay, 0 0.1 0 0.2. So solving the above problem, let us write a small code. Next, age equal to age plus 1. After writing it, I will explain it to you. Okay. Yeah. So now, as you can see, suppose we need to like say add the number, the penultimate number that of the age that we are being entered. For example, I am 31. So what the output needs is that soon you'll be 31. Okay. So if we have put age here, D1. Okay. So what we need to show here that the age should be 22. So how will you do it? Just copy this part for once. So as you can see that we are entering the age here as 21, right? But we need to perform an operation here. Since this is a string data type, so we can't perform any kind of operation here. So in order to show any desired output, we need to add it. Okay, so the desired output is if you are 21, we need to show that our age is 20. Soon you will be becoming the age of 22. So in order to do that, so we are here using the variable assigning the 20 the number as 21 to the age, and the next age equal to age plus 1. So let us try to understand this statement properly. What is happening here? The next is a variable that is being assigned as age plus 1. So whatever the value of age will be, this will be replaced by 21 plus 1. It will be stored in the next age. Now next is a integer data type, right? So we need, since we can't concatenate different data types, so we need to convert it into a string, right? So that is why I have written here, printing it as soon you will be 20 22, it will be showing here. So if we put 24, it will be showing as 25, right? See, this is the output that you are seeing here. But so this is one more exercise. Can anyone do it as an user input if possible? uh, Anyone from the participants, if you
স্যার একটা
can?
কোশ্চেন ছিল
Yeah, sure.
স্যার এসটিআরটা কেন ইউজ হচ্ছে
because you can't add to string like you can't print concatenate to different data types. For example, since next age is of integer data type, right? So that is why we need to convert it to string so that we can see that soon we will adding the number as 25 to the string of soon we will. So wait, I will be showing you in the form of a comment. Here age is equal to 24, right? Which is an integer. I have shown you that in Python, this is automatically taken up. So this type will be integer, right? Then what will happen? Next age equal to 24 plus 1, which is also an integer. Okay, then soon now, what is the next part? We've seen that we are adding soon you will, but we know that we can't add two different kinds of data type. So we are using the next age here, right? Suppose let us remove this part str. Okay, what will happen? Let's see. Let's see. See, you can, here it is written type error can only concatenate str and not string. Okay, so that is the reason we need to convert it into a string in order to show it. So now what you happen, next age has been assigned a value of 25 as a string. So then only it is possible to concatenate. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, okay. Do you have any other doubt that you want to ask?
স্যার আমি তো এখানে কমা দিয়েও তো করে দিতে পারতাম স্ট্রিং না নিয়ে নেক্সট চার্জ করে
Can you please speak in English? I'm not Bengali actually. I don't understand it quite well.
ওকে
Yeah.
স্যার we can print a soon you will be then we can write comma then next edge so we don't have to use string.
Yeah, you can write comma as well, but I am showing that I'm showing actually trying to show you that when you are adding two strings, no, it's not possible to that you can concatenate two different types of variables. That only I'm trying to show you. But yeah, you can also use the comma here. It's then it's possible because since these are of two different data types, it's also possible. Just showing you an example of how this is done. See, this is also possible. It's not. I'm not saying that it's not. Just showing you the string operations actually. That's why. Yeah, you are right. Absolutely right. What is your name? I forgot.
Sumi Chatterjee.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, Sumi. Nice one. Yeah. So yeah. Anything else you want to say?
No sir.
Yeah. Okay. Um. So I think before moving on, I would like to take a short break of 10 minutes so that we can continue from here. We are sitting from over like 1.5 hours. So, ma'am, can we take a 5 minutes break? 10 minutes break, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Rest of the participants, there are some guidelines. So first is that you will be getting a feedback form at the end, and those will just fill it. Only will get the certificate. So please kindly fill it. And there's a good news for those who have attended this session that you all will be getting a discount of rupees 200 for another course that is going to be live from 22 December. So that course is about like how to make the websites. So you, after you fill the feedback form, you'll be getting a thank you email, and along with that you'll get a course code as well. Okay, with which you will able to avail the discount. I'll repeat this information again as well.
What is the registration fee for the next website creator course?
So it's a 5-day. So it's a 5-day workshop on how to build website and design websites through WordPress. Okay, so it's of like $499, and so you all will be getting a 200 of discount. For you, it will be $299. But please try. If you are actually enrolling for it, you will be able to enroll through the mail, dedicated mail that we will be sending. Do not go to our website and then fill, because then it might be the case that you will not be able to get that discount.
Will certificate be available after 5 days at course?
Yeah, even the WordPress one is certified as well, and this workshop for this workshop also, if you want the certification, you have to fill the feedback form. And to all those who will fill the feedback form, you'll get an email regarding 200 off discount for the another course, which is of WordPress. And those who are asking about the feedback form, I'll be just sharing it after the session ends. So you have to wait for that. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am. Are you there? Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Is there any specific time to join this meeting, or it is held after means today, any other time also?
No, this today itself is just a workshop on Python.
Yeah, this is the only time now that to join means it will not be held in some other time, I think.
No. This is the only time to attend it.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. We are also planning to have a Python course as well, for which you will be getting a recording as well. But for this, it is a live one here only itself.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, may I know the certificate from where will I get after filling the feedback form? It will come through mail, or I have to download it from your website or something like that?
No, we'll send you on your mails.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you. If you have any other doubts as well, you can ask me. As
Sure,
I've
ma'am.
said already, the feedback form will be shared at the end of this workshop.
Okay, ma'am. May I know that when will this workshop means end? Is there any time schedule to end the workshop, or it will continue till afternoon or something like that?
No, it has started from 2, will be till 2, or maybe after the question and answer round, we'll try to wind up by 2:15 or 2:20. That's it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Hello.
Yes, Dada, bolo.
Yeah, can we start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we were in the part where you were understanding about typecasting, and we now know how to concatenate different strings. And now let us, we have also seen that we can't add two strings where there are different data types. And even if we accidentally enter, that is something which is wrong, then what are we going to do? In that case, that is known as exception handling. So whenever there is an exception, you need to create a alternative so that user can enter it again and handle the exception, right? So in this I have written a code here. You can see I have to go fast. If I keep writing every code and line, we won't finish in time. So yeah, so in this code, as you can see, we are taking the input of name and the age as the input. Now we are writing that part, this part where there is try next age equal to int age plus 1, and then except print error, please enter valid integer input for the age. Now let us try to understand what exactly this means. Okay, so this is one of the most important tools for exception handling. This is known as try and except clause. Okay, so these are the now we are going into the advanced things, the little by little. So whenever you are entering the age as something like a numerical, so you see here we have written try equal to next age equal to int age plus 1. So what it means that if if the next age is not an integer, then we will be showing an error. Please enter a valid integer input for the age. Now let us try to run this program, then you can understand more clearly. What is your name? What is your age? Let us say UL. Error. Please enter a valid integer input for the age. So the following code will not run only. This is because um, we are trying to input an integer value for the next age, right? So this is the reason that we are not getting any answer as an output. But here we have also, yeah, I also forgot to say that we haven't declared this part as next age. But yeah, okay, fine. So let us try to run this again. Okay, we'll be entering proper values for this time. 21. Yeah, now this is the reason that this program is working. So this is the way how you are going to handle the exceptions. For example, you are using a Google form, right? You are entering the wrong thing in a wrong field. Suppose you are asked for the phone number and you set the data type while making the form as number, numerical. So if you put a invalid data type such as ABCD, that won't be working, right? So this is one Python program to implement the exact same thing, and this is known as exception handling. So which it is very important for your concept, and I have written everything. You can get my file. I will share it to you at the end, and this is one of the important concepts that will be using repeatedly. Now, as you have seen, if you remember, I have taken the real life example of baking an egg, making an omelette, right? So how do we do it? I had told you that if the chef has known the instructions, made the complete egg, the result is proper. He has sent it to one user, but we need to send it to different user. He had to make the eggs again for different people throughout the day, right? So we'll be using a loop in that case. So exactly, but before we understand the loop, I'm going to give you a small concept. Suppose we have the value of a variable as 0, or a previous value is already defined. Then we have the value, now we set the value as 1. And now next, this statement implies that whatever the recent value of n is, it will be added to the next value. For example, in this case, the value is the same. Now the value of n is 1, and since the later variable n is declared as 1, so that is why whenever we'll be incrementing it, we'll be putting is putting the answer as 1. Now let us try to visualize it by printing each and every step of it. So whenever you will be incrementing the variables later, you won't be having any kind of problem. So yeah, let's print this statement, what is happening here, and we'll be understanding. See, in the first, we have seen the console as printing n. Here the value of n is 0. Now we're updating the variable to 1. So the variable print is 1. Now, if we add another print here, what do you think will be the answer? Can anyone tell me what will be the answer here? I want an answer from you guys. Can you please tell me what will be the next statement here? What will be printing out in this statement after this? Anyone?
2. Yes, sir, 2.
Yeah, right. It's 2.
1 plus 1, 2, it will be yes.
Right. Yeah. So did you understand that whenever
So will it not create any problem for not entering that int or something like that?
No, it won't be entering any problem here. It won't be, because we are not adding any kind of string, right? That is why it won't cause any problem, because every data that we are handling here is of the same type, that is integer. So that won't be a problem for anything. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So now if you run it, 0, 1, and 2. Yeah. So you guys understood, right, that how incrementing works and how assignment works. This equal is not mathematical equal, it's just assignment. Okay, so that is very important that you know. In this step, this algorithm is 0, then is 1, then is working as n plus 1 is equal to 2.
And
so
for
whenever
first case, it will give the value as 1, right?
Yeah. So okay, I will be showing you another thing. Let us suppose that this part is coming here. Okay, we do not have this part. What will be the answer then? See, it's just 1, because in this case, when you are incrementing here, okay, this n is again been assigned as 1, right? So this is 0, we are printing as 0. Then here it is taking the value of 0 from here to here. Then 0 plus 1 is 1. Then it is being stored here into n. Then the print statement is being executed. Now, did you understand? That is how it works exactly. Okay, so order is very important, how you are going to do it. So always remember, whenever you are writing a piece of code, that you need to put the order at the right place, otherwise it can get reassigned. Okay, this is how it happens. So yeah, we are going to the next part, that is the while loop. We are already entering into conditions, right? Okay, we're going very fast, but I hope all of you are understanding what I'm trying to explain, right? So yeah, moving on to the while loop. So Python while loop is actually used to execute a block of statements repeatedly. So what here it is written, I've already told you, and whenever a chef is trying to make omelets for many people, the statements is being executed twice. So when this kind of thing is the behavior is known as indefinite iteration. So iteration means repetition. Okay, iteration means the entire algorithm is repeated into the desired number of times that the user wants. So if you do not exactly specify the number of iterations, that is how many, suppose for the chef, you don't tell him that you need the eggs for 10 people, you don't tell him. Okay, you just tell him to make eggs. He will be continuously making it. The loop will never end. Okay, right? So that is why this is known as indefinite iteration. So you have to avoid that, actually, so that is very important part of programming. We used to make this blunder whenever we actually ran these programs, and it executed into infinite loop. Okay, so whenever infinite loop occurs, most of the time your program will be crashing. Okay, so you have to make sure that you don't crash your loop. Your loop, whatever you put the values in the loop is very, very important. So as I have said, there are certain rules. So the syntax is in while expression, then we get the statements. So this is a simple statement of while n less than 5 print high. So let us try to execute and understand what this means. So whenever we try to run this, see, this high is keeping on running. This is the example of an indefinite loop. This program will never end because n here is equal to 0, and while n equal to 5, it means that n's value, whenever it is 5 till the time that it is less than 5, this statement will always execute. I'm putting a comment here. Okay, so let us see n equal to 0 here, right? So because we have defined this part as n equal to 0, right? So whenever we do that n equal to 0, that we see that this print statement is executing repeatedly, but it won't stop, and it will cause your big programs. If you are going to make, if you make such a blunder, it is going to crash. So always you need to remember that wherever you are putting a conditional loop, you need to put it in a definite loop. Okay, so let us try to make this into a definite one. Okay, this is known as keyboard interrupt to stop it from keeping running. So n equal to n plus 1. Just now I had explained you the concept of right, incrementation, right? So I had told you that n value of n is defaulted into 0. So let us understand how it is happening. I'll put one draw. I think, yeah. Oh yeah, it's coming. So now we have the value of n as 0, right? We are entering into this loop. Here, it will be while statement will be checking if the value of n is indeed less than 5 or not. So it finds out the n value of n is 0. So yeah, it is true. So it will be printing high. Okay. So the next statement under this is n equal to n plus 1. So what is the value of n before? It was it is assignment, right? So here the value of is 0. 0 plus 1 equal to 1. It will go into the n, new value of n is 1. It will repeat, right? Now, while we'll again check if the value of n is less than 5. Yeah, so since it is 1, so we can see that this loop is being repeated. So print high will be printed again. Then the value of 1 will be incremented, plus 1. Then it will go into 1, 2, then it will become 2. Then n will be 2. So in this way, this will keep on repeating until this condition is false. Once at the end, after 2, 3, then 4, after it becomes 5, whenever it is going to this loop, it will see that this it is no longer true. Is 5 less than 5? Is this possible? No. So this will end. This program will end. Always remember, whenever you are writing a conditional statement or something in a loop, you always have to put indentation. In Python, you do not need to put brackets. If anyone knows C or C++, you might be knowing, I'm not sure. But if you are using a C or C++ code, you always have to put brackets. But Python is purely based on indentation. So since I'll show you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now let us try to run this. See, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 highs are there. So if we put it as 10, there will be total of 10 highs. It's as simple as that. Okay. So this is how a while loop works in Python. Okay. But you also need to understand one thing. If we put this into forwards, okay, we are if we are not putting it into an indentation, then you will notice that what will happen is that this condition will only execute after this while loop has finished. So always remember, if we are not putting it indented into the same space as the above statement as the while, then it won't execute under the while loop. It will execute after the while loop. So even if we run this, it will always be executing as an indefinite loop. Why? Because this statement is never reached. This while loop is always repeating itself. It never came out of the loop. That is why it is always important that you put it indented inside the loop. So now only this will run properly. Yeah. So that's about while loop, it's very simple actually. So yeah. So if we, after this ends, if we just put print here, after this ends, the loop has ended. So what does it mean? After ending all the highs, this particular statement will be executed at the last. Okay, but this is not a part of this loop because this is not indented. But if we do indent it inside, okay, if we do indent it, then it will be executing as a part of the while loop. See, it will see loop is ended, loop is ended, loop is ended. Did you understand why indentation is important? So now it is not a
Yes,
part
sir.
of the loop.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now see, only one time this loop will be occurring. So this is the simplest concept that I have explained you about while loop. And while loop is mostly important. As if you do not use loop, you will see that your program will only run once. Do you want to make your application so that it will run only once? So only once it will run, then it will crash only. Is it feasible? No, right? You have to make keep it running till the user wants it. So that's why while loop is the most important and integral part of the Python program. So let us see an example of while, how we are going to implement it using exception handling. Okay. See, these notes have been prepared by me itself only, but what happened is if I keep on writing all this, we'll be running out of time. We are only 2 hours on the go. Okay,
Sir,
I have.
may I get up these notes?
Yeah, yeah, I will send it to you. I'll send. That's why only I wrote it so that I can send it to you guys so that you
Okay,
can use
okay,
it for later reference.
Yeah, it will
Okay.
be helpful for
Yeah,
us.
yeah. Sure, sure. I'll send everything. I have made one even a conclusion report, a cheat sheet, so that you can just see the sheet and you can remember everything. I will give it to
Okay,
you as well.
yeah,
Okay, don't worry about
okay.
it.
And
So
this
just
this software link also, this Python software link.
okay, Python. Okay, I will send it to you. Okay, yeah. So yeah, now let us try to understand what is this program. Okay, so you know what is the meaning of while. Okay, so this is one more stuff that statement that we can use is while not. This while not means that whatever is true is not to be accepted. Okay, so if we are using we have to, as you know, if we do not use this statement, we will know that it will come as a problem because password is not defined, right? So it will always show an error that this is not defined. So we need to assign this to a empty string first. Okay, then if we run it, we'll see what is the password. So what this program does is that if we do not enter the correct password, that is 1234. So what is the meaning of while not password equal to 1234? I'm going to explain it to you. Okay. So this is one variable, right? This password has been assigned to us empty string. Now we are coming to the while part. Now while we'll be checking if the password is not 1234. So if you do not enter the password as 1234, this loop will keep on running till you don't enter the correct password. You will never be able to run to get to the other part of the software. Okay, so this is the most basic application of while loop. Okay, if you are using Windows, suppose you are entering the password, you're repeatedly entering the password, but you are not able to get it. Why? Because it is wrong. You will only be able to get to the rest after the loop if you are entering the correct password. So let us enter like A, B, C, D. Okay, here you have to cut this annotation part. Okay, yeah, A, B, C, D. So see, there is no such thing. It will keep on running A, B, C, D, anything, H, Y, J. But when we enter the value as 1234, the password is correct. Now you have the access to the account that you want. This is the most basic application of while loop. Okay, and you know how important this is. You can create your own software later. If you are working on projects, you can create your own software. If the password is not executed and in the front end, you can't enter the software itself. So yeah, isn't it interesting? This is so you're just writing 3 to 4 lines of code and you can just make a security system out of it. This is so interesting, right? That is why Python is such a versatile language and is used so widely. Yeah, so now we will be improving our, wait 1 second, I will be clearing, improving our program using the loops. Okay, so moving on. So let us copy this program. I'll understanding. Did you understand? Do you have any of you guys? Do you have any doubts regarding that password thing? I think we are running out of time and I'm overtiming. Okay, anyways, so yeah, so this is one we have already seen that while so this is one example of application of while again. So since we have seen that while age equal to 0, so input what is your age. If only if this is defined, only then we can input the age of the using while you can input the age of the person. Okay, so yeah, I won't be going into details because it will take a lot of time. So using a debugger, so what is the debugging? As I have told you that if you write wrong code in your program, then it will be it will be possible for the Python to understand. So you can just divide the program just by right clicking it. If you can right click here, okay, yeah, see. So this is how it is being developed. So if you click the debugger option, you can see different kinds of bugging. So it is an interpreter. It will be executing line by line. Okay, so you can see where the error has come out of. So this is the use of the debugger. Won't be going into details. So yeah, so basically, so it is the use of removing the existing bugs, which is most software testers used to do. If you have studied ever software engineering, that you will know that what is the meaning of debugging, because it is one of the most vital steps. If you are releasing such for example unfinished operating system, like maybe some kind of UI, maybe Android 12 maybe, and it has a lot of bugs, then you won't be able to use it properly, right? So using a debugger software, you can solve the error or fix the errors in at ease. Okay, by right clicking it. There are many applications we don't need to get the details of it. Okay, so we'll be almost to the end of our part. We'll be parting into functions. So now that we have written all of our code, we know that we have just made it into a chaos, right? So whatever we have written, it is not feasible whenever you are using it into a real world. Okay, suppose the basic example is that this is an example of data abstraction. Okay, so suppose you have a mixer grinder machine at home and you are trying to make some juice out of it. Okay, you will just put the banana in, or the apple, anything you want, or the mango, whatever. Then what will happen is that the mixer grinder will do the job and you will get the result or the juice, right? So this that is known as a function. So whatever is happening, how the electric motor is being used, or how exactly electricity, how much electricity you need, that is being done by us. Okay, but the actual user doesn't need to know the details of how it is being done. So this is the exact reason we need to put our code into an abstracted form, or an organized form, so that it can also be reused. Okay, so whenever, suppose this is known as a function. Okay, function, as I have told you, adding or subtracting, that is also a function. So whenever you are putting it inside a function, right? So what will happen is that you can just implement this function, and this entire code will run. You don't even need to know what is happening inside. So if we write like a sum function, then if we feed a plus b like 7 or 6, the answer will come out and give the result will be just given to you. You don't need to know how we are writing the code, right? So that is why function is important. Okay, so actually what function is, the block of related statements, which is used to perform logical or computational tasks. So the idea is to actually put that tasks that are done repeatedly, for example, taking the user input repeatedly, if you're just calling the function, I mean implementing the function, then that is more feasible, and you need minimal lines of code. Otherwise, you have to write the code repeatedly and repeatedly. Just imagine how big your program will be. If you can just reuse the section of your code into a function, then it will be very helpful for you, right? So what is the syntax of it? We have to define a function. This is how it is written, and then whatever inside the function will be executed. Whenever how to implement a function, whenever we need that function to operate, we need to call it. That is called function calling. Calling the function is simply function calling. It's just as simple as that. So we'll be doing, suppose asking for an age is a function. Okay, so we will be executing this statement of code. Yeah, so we have defined a function named ask for age. So we have initialized age integer as 0, while age integer is equal to 0, as I have already taught you how to do this while loop is happening. So only if this is predefined, only then we have to use this while loop. Okay, so if it is not predefined, then we won't have to use it. So what is your age? So whenever age str will be changing, we have to declare it into a new variable. Then we have to try age equal to int str. This means that you have entered a valid data type for age, that is a number, that is integer. If it doesn't happen, that the error will become, that error will be coming, that only I told you, that exception handling. So everything is being done and everything is being stored into this function, right? So you have defined this function. Okay, then what will happening that whenever you need the age of a person, you just simply put the age, call the function here, ask for age function, and return the answer and store it in age. Now let us understand what I mean by return. Okay, um, so yeah, so whenever we are doing everything, okay, we are calling this function is being executed, this entered, then is everything as I have explained before is happening. Now here we have seen a statement called return. What does this mean? It means that this answer, the value, evaluated value of age int, that is whatever it has been stored, will be and sent back to the function. Okay, and then whatever this function will be returning, for example, age is 52, suppose. Okay, this answer is age is 52. This 52 will be returned here. So ask for age will be equal to 52, and this 52 will be stored in the value of age, and we can reuse this code repeatedly as many times as we want. So this is the function of like loops. Okay, so yeah, so this is one simple application of this. Now we'll be closing the debugger actually. Yeah, what is your age? Oh yeah, I forgot. What happened is I returned this thing actually. That's why. I returned the correct code here. uh, One second, huh? This is how it is, you know. Even the people who even know programming also sometimes get stuck sometimes, because it is how it is. Programming is, you can never be a master of programming. There will always be an error. But the important thing is how you are going to fix it. Now let us see why this age is being printed repeatedly. This is because maybe we have messed up some kind of variable name. That is why it is being stored. Okay, so this is how you need to debug the program. Okay, so since we have returned the value of age str, so trying age is okay, age maybe be fine, I think. Hmm. 1 second. I had fixed it in the morning. I made this mistake before and I fixed it in the morning. Yeah. Now, did you see how I debugged the program? Sometimes you just, whenever you are writing a big program, no, it just so happens that sometimes it's just you are messing up the variable names. It does happen whenever you are writing. I was in a haste actually in the morning, so I just was compiling the codes, right? So yeah, I get messed up. Yeah, anyways, so this age has been restored here. This value has been entered as an age, and this value is been showing here. So this is why you can use it different times. But you know what? Why we need functions? Well, I was talking about code reusability, right? Let us say we have age 1, then we have another person's age 2 equal to ask for age again. Okay. Now we're going to copy this. H1, H1, H2, H2. Yeah. Now let us try to run this program. Okay. Age 21, 78. Yeah, your age, you're 21, soon will be 22, age is 76, soon will be 77. But if we hadn't written this function, don't you think that we had to write this entire code snippet repeatedly for 2 times just to get the same different answer, right? This is the reason you need to use functions. Also, whenever you are using loops, again in loops are also inside functions. So this is how you integrate different functions. So I'm going to give you an exercise. Okay. So can you write a function to ask for a name? Okay. For example, just as I have written asking for an age is a function, can any of you write a function to ask for the name? Can anyone? Okay. If you can, please do it. So I can at least know that you guys have understood something. Anyone? Maybe you can post it in the chat or respond at least, maybe. Is
ওখানে
anyone?
ওই age dot age underscore int এর ওখানে কি age underscore string it will be and then age str then that next step will be same only age
Yeah,
and
it will be same,
name
almost
dot
same.
str input what is your name that will be same and then
Right.
try name dot str it will be str name name underscore str that will, and then print and then it will be like that only now.
Yeah.
I'm confused a bit but
Okay,
try.
but if whenever you are using a name, you have to put here str. Okay, why?
Yes,
Because
yes, because
name
it's
is
not an
not
int value.
integer, right?
Yes.
So this is the only difference that you need to see. Did you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, that
Sir,
is why
all variables will be
it's
then
important.
str,
Whenever
then age str,
Age will not be there. Name underscore str will be.
name underscore str.
right, exactly.
And print that will be please enter a valid in string input for the
Right,
name
exactly.
and
Right.
return
Very
name dot str.
correct. But very true. Yeah, at least you guys have understood something. That's very great. But this is very easy to write as well. I have just written a simple function. This is the most simple one. Just you have to remember that in case of strings, you can't make it undefined. Always you need to define a variable as something, at least initialize it to something. Okay. So in case of strings, you also always have to initialize it is as a null string. That means it does not contain anything but blank string. Okay, you have to define it for something. So yeah, so this is the all about functions. Okay, so we are before going to conditional, I would like to explain a little bit of global variable and parameters. Okay, are you guys understanding? Is it okay? I just want to know your feedback for a bit. Hello.
Yes, yes, it's very nice. At least I am understanding.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'm talking about parameters and variables, right? So let us suppose that we have an variable here which is age equal to 0. Now we have defined a function ask for age as usual before, age equal to 0 while age into this is the same thing, right? Try except everything. But as you know, whenever you are writing age inside this function, the scope of age is only valid till it is inside the function. That means as when you are outside this function, you can't be using the value of age from the inside the function. Okay, so this is a global variable, right? So suppose you are declaring it here age equal to 0, and you are copying this. You are not using, you are not writing, oh, 1 minute, you are not writing this statement. Okay, you are writing it here. What it means that this is a global variable. What global variable means is that suppose let us check this as well. Okay, yeah, so this is one function asks for age, this is one function asks for name. So since age is here 0, this means this age value of age is 0 in this function also and this function also. Okay, but if we write here age equal to 0 here, that means that this age is suppose, let us not say 0, let us say 5, then this is 5 only for this inside function. Why? Because you are declaring this variable inside this function. That is why the variable scope is local. So this is the difference between local variable and a global variable. A global variable is always declared outside the function and is valid for all the functions that is written in the particular code. But always remember, if you are trying to copy this code, okay, copy this function and pasting it elsewhere, then what will happen? You are using the age from here, right? But it won't work. Why? Because this is a global variable, right? You can't use this variable for other purposes. But that is why you need to always declare the value of the variable inside the function. Okay, that is why it is important. So even if we write age here, and again if we are using the age here inside, then again we have to put age equal to 0. Only then this will reduce the dependency of the function. This is called function dependency. Why? Because if we try to copy this function elsewhere, it will be dependent on the global variable for it to work. So always remember, whenever you are working as with variables inside functions, you are supposed to declare or initialize the values inside the function itself, so as to reduce the dependency of the function. Okay, so yeah, so this is the reason I'm trying to explain you the importance of global variables. Okay, so let us see the next part. Okay, that is this is only explained. I have written everything. Okay, if you later, if you want reference, you can just seek help from here, this place. Okay, so now we are trying to
So where will you give the PDF?
Yeah, I can give you the PDF as well if you want. I
Yeah,
will give
means
you a
where
try.
will you provide? Means in the Gmail only.
Now I will talk with the organizers. Okay, they will provide you. I'll send them the files. Okay,
Yes,
they will
sir.
give you the link. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ma'am, can you provide them with the files that I will give you, Shweta ma'am?
Yes, yes, it will be mailed to them with their certificates.
Yeah. Okay, sure. So yeah, now we are almost to the making it to the end, but I think I took too much of time of yours. It is almost to be 2.5 hours. Yeah, so we are going to take the next thing, which is known as parameters. Okay, so it is one of the most important part of functions. Okay, never always try to remember these things.
Sir,
Yeah.
I think it's not the means it's not complete. It's not possible to complete the whole course in one day
No,
or
no,
something
it's not
like that.
never
Then,
possible. It's never
sir,
possible.
so why can't you take some this step by step at weekends?
Yeah, I can also take.
Yes.
I have to. This is just. I have
Then
been
it will be
assigned.
helpful for us who are
Yeah, yeah.
actually blank beginner in Python.
I completely understand. I also believe that such a small workshop is not completely possible for you. Okay, so that's why I also learned Python over a period of time. Even if I knew C++, Python is easier than that. But I also took time because you need to practice, right? I know that, but since
Yes,
I've been
programming,
assigned
if you
as
don't practice, you will forget within very short
right,
time.
you will forget, right? So that's why I'm trying to give you a brief idea so that you can just be interested in this program and know the basic. But to in depth, also, I'm not trying to explain. If I try give you such an explanation, no, it will take almost 6 hours, I think, total. So
Yes,
it's not
one day it's
possible for.
possibly not
Yeah,
possible.
it's not possible. Yeah, you will forget only whatever I taught before.
Yes, if you
I'm just
do
going.
weekends at your free times, then we can
Yeah,
join.
we'll talk with the organizers and we'll talk with you. Okay, so that's okay for you.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So now moving on, we are seeing we are learning about the parameters. Okay, what is a parameter? So we have seen about the functions. The ask for name is a function. Now ask for age is a name person. Why do you need these parameters? Okay, so as you have, as you know, I had told you whenever you are concatenating strings, now these things will be applied. Okay, what I have taught you before. When you will be concatenating strings, you don't know that we have written you had written print hi plus name plus and welcome to the class, right? Why do you write it? Because you don't know the name of the person that will be provided by the user, right? So exact reason parameters are used in the functions so that the exact entity which is to be processed. Suppose you are making a suppose I'm talking about this function. Let us talk about this is a mixer. Okay, I'll give you a bit more understandable example. Okay, suppose I'll create one more file. I think. Yeah. So yeah. So suppose I'm printing defining this. Okay. For in a simple manner, I will try to make you explain. Suppose this is a mixer. Okay. Okay, this is a mixer. So what you need to do, enter. I think it in a layman language. This is not Python. Okay, I'm trying to explain you in a layman language. Enter the mixer. That means what I meant is like let us suppose in the mixer, what entry into the mixer is going to be the first step. Then the second step will be processing the food. Okay, then giving you return juice. Okay, so this is simple, right? But what will you put into the mixer? It can be mango, right? It can be apple, it can be orange, anything. This is known as parameters. Whatever you are entering or feeding into the function is known as parameters. Okay, so you don't know how this will work, so let us assign a variable, namely fruit. Okay, if we take this from the user, that is fruit is equal to input, which fruits are you going to make the juice out of? Okay, so if you understood, did you understand what I mean by parameters? That you have to feed the function with the values that we want to be operated on. Okay, this is the exact thing I want
Sir,
to say.
display, can it be zoomed for?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, can you see now?
Yes. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
right.
Okay, is it okay? Did you understand what I'm
Yes,
trying
yes.
to say? That
Okay, now it was possible. It was means I was not able to see then, so I told.
yeah, so you are defining a function that is a mixer. Okay, mixer, you are entering a particular kind of fruit. You don't know which fruit. You are a programmer. You can't tell the user what fruit you are going to accept. So only this is the process why which is working, and the end, this is the returning the juice. But this fruit has to be inputted from the user. So user has to be asked which fruit do you want to insert. So that is how a machine works. That is how a mixer works. Whatever there is inside the circuit board, they just work with the input of the user, right? And a software, even if we're making, it also means you have to feed something to the function. So whatever you are feeding into the function, that is only parameter. It's the most layman language that I can make you explain. So this is how it is working. So yeah, so what I am doing here, that this name is calling this is being called first. Okay, ask for name is being called, name1 equal to name is inputted from here, name is returned. Suppose Anurag is being assigned to the value of 1. So here we have Anurag. Anurag is here putting. Okay, so now again this will be executed. Name number 2, as you know, this is the application of function. So ask for name will be again executed. Then let me say it is Nitin. Okay, then it is putting a Nitin inside. So now what does this mean as name1? So whatever we have inputted into this name, this particular thing is being fed back into the second function of age. So age of Anurag is being asked in this particular function, then it is inputted. Then number 2, age of Nitin is being asked and then being inputted. This is how parameters work. Did you understand what I'm trying to say? So this is how parameters are being working. Now let us just try to like run this function. Okay. Please enter your name, Anurag. Please enter your name, Nitin. Anurag, what is your age? See, Anurag, what is your age? Why did he ask like that? See, the name person has been inputted as Anurag here. Okay, so this particular value is being assigned as Anurag. So Anurag, what is your age? This is how this function is working. So I am putting 21. Then Nitin, what is your age? It's suppose 25. So this is the final result. This is exact use of parameters as I can tell you. Okay, understood everyone? Do you have any doubts? You can ask me right now. Did you understand? Or do I have to explain anything
Yes,
else?
sir.
Yeah. Okay. So we are going next. So we have also always have to remember that whenever you are going to build a function, okay, always remember one thing: you have to define the function. What is the meaning of this function? If we put this part, like cut it from here, then putting it here, okay, and it won't run because it doesn't know only. The compiler hasn't even reached this part of the sentence. So it will never know that what kind of function it is asking for. Always define the function first, then only put the then only call the function. That is always important. Okay, always remember that. So we have an exercise, but let us skip that. I will just explain the exercise for you, otherwise it will be very late. So this is two parameters is being entered here, that is name and age at the same time. Then you can just simply you can look at for reference, won't be explaining too much. Then we are continuing to the
Hello,
conditions.
sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you scroll down for some? Yeah, sir. Here, please stop. That
Mhm.
it is given that str age means. Please scroll down once.
Okay.
Here, then your age is plus str age. Then why it is given str age? It will be int now.
No. It is int while operation, but why you know it is str? Because this is a string. You are printing the value as a string. That is why it is
Oh, I'm
str.
printing the word age here, right? Okay.
Yeah. You are printing it. That is why. Okay. You can also write this as something else. Okay, it's no problem. You can write it simply as comma. It is also not a problem. This also will work. Okay, but for simplification, I'm not trying to confuse you guys. Otherwise, you will become too confused. What is being written here? That's why I'm trying to go in a flow.
It's okay. I thought
Okay.
that we are entering the value of age, then it can't be this.
Yeah. That's why. Okay. So that's why. Yeah, continuing. Now we are coming to the almost the end. So we are going to conditional statements. So Python support. So whenever you are doing mathematics, you all know about mathematics. You know about addition, subtraction, everything. So these are conditions, right? So if we now these are logical operations. These are not arithmetic operations. These are known as logical operations. If you know about logic gates, I don't know. I'm not sure. If you are. Uh, Familiar with logic gates, and you will know what is logical statements. Okay, and or operation, if you know. Okay, we'll be coming to that. So yeah, but so Python here supports some usual logical condition statements for mathematics, that is a equal to b. It means that we have to check if a is equal to b. This is not assignment, remember. This is not assignment operator. This is equal to. This is mathematical equal to. We'll checking if the value of a is equal to value of b. This is the meaning of equal to equal to. This is how it is written. Now here this means it's not equals, and this is less than less than equal to, greater than equal to. So these conditions are mainly used in if statements and loops. And if statement is primarily written using the if keyword. Okay, so we are going to understand about the if statement. So whenever, suppose this is an if. Okay, um equality, suppose we need to know if the age is 18, less than 18, then I am a minor. If my age is greater than 18, then you are an adult. So in order to print that, we need to know the age, right? So in Python, we just have to write if age is less than 18, you have to write print a minor. If age is greater than 18, you have to write an adult. But this won't work always. Okay, we'll be coming to that. But I'm trying to give you a basic idea. Okay, wait 1 second. I think the wrong thing got. Control C, Control V. Yeah. So let us say age equal to input. What is the age of the person? Okay, so we will be doing this, running this, maybe 18. 1 second. Oh, 1 second. I forgot. This should be int. Remember, that is how you, sometimes it does happen. Yeah, you are an adult. Yeah, did you get it? So age has been taken as input from the user as int. Now we'll see the other. What if we add use like 16 or something? 16. Okay, you are a minor. This is how it works. This is simple logic, right? If we are entering the age here from the statement from the user, if age is less than 18, then you are a minor. If age is greater than 18, then you are an adult. It's a simple conditional statement in Python that you need to execute later. But if we are, suppose if we are not using the if clause like that. Okay, sometimes it does happen that the both of these ifs are executed at the same time. That is okay. Suppose if age is greater than 18 and age is equal to 18. Okay, so what will happen, do you think? Suppose if you enter the age as 18, no, so this is only execute the, it will create some confusion. Okay, so that is why we are using the else clause. Whenever you are using the else clause, you do not need to put any kind of condition. Okay, so if you are putting else instead of after if the first statement is not executed, the only other statement that can execute is this. Okay, that is the reason we use the else clause. So moving on, so we are using the elif clause. So what this means is that we're going fast. Okay, don't have much time. If the age is less than 17, then you are a minor. Else if this means that otherwise, if the age is equal to 17, you are almost an adult. Otherwise, if age is equal to 18, you are just become an adult. Or else, if everything is greater than 18, then you are an adult. It's a simple use of if and else. Okay. So you can just keep the exercises. Okay, so this is one last thing in if and else. So there is something called as conditions. Okay, so Boolean conditions. This is or and. If in this statement, if any of this is condition is true, then this statement is executed. If both, in case of and, if both of these cases are true, only then this is executed. Okay. Oh yeah, age is not different, so I have to. Yeah, I'm putting like half syntaxes. No, that's why. Okay. Is equal to input. We have to take input again. Int input enter the age of the student. Enter the age of the student. Let us take 1. You are a baby, right? Age is 1. Otherwise, even if you enter 2, this will be executed. You are a baby, right? So this means that if any one of these conditions is true, then this statement is going to execute. Other statements won't. Now let us try to understand the second part. If this is and this age is between 10 and 18, only then this statement will execute. Okay, that is how it works. Now let us suppose it is 16. You are a teenager. Just because 16 is between 10 and as well as 18, only then this will be running. So this is how and then or clauses are used. Okay, so now we are coming to the last part, that is for loop. This is the most interesting thing. So for loop is as I have told you, it's just like an while loop, but a little bit with it can be used with more parameters. That is how it is. Wait 1 second. Yeah, I'll explain it to you. Yeah, so what is happening is in the case of for loop, this is for I in range 0 to 4. What it means that it will be printing this. 1 second. Printing this statement from 0 to 4. See, first the statement is range is defined as 0 to 4. So the value of I will be 0, then printing of I will be done, and value of I will be incremented, then it will be 1. In for statement, the value is automatically incremented. Okay, so the next time it will be 1, but in while loop it does not increment. That is why it is not used widely, because it has a chance of crashing. While is only used in the case of Boolean logic, whenever it is either true or not true. That is only when while loop is mostly used, but not for iterations. Okay. So for I in range is 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then it will be becoming then 0, 1, 2, 3. This is how the for loop works. So basically this is it. Then now we'll just revise once whatever we have seen here. So we have seen about the variable types, that is a hello, B5, C is floating data type, then D is true. Print output, input and output, as you have seen how to take the input and how we are going to use the strings. Then we are using comments, like one line comment, as I have seen, and I told you about the quotations, 3 quotes. Then when you will be used, it will be multi-line comment. And conversions, the typecasting that I was saying, that you can't add a string to plus to integers to string, etc. So that is how it works. Type conversion. And while loop is being used, like loops while condition is true. For loop is used for loops when it is used for number of times, and function definition is done. So and then different parameters are being used to call it, and returns a function a particular value. And conditional statements they have learned: if else conditions, exceptions, this is try and except. Yeah, so this is basically it, and I expect you to like further work on your skills, practice more, and always remember one thing. When I had learned programming language, I had worked on 2 small mini projects. Okay, so if you do not do a project, no, then it will never help you in the future. If you are doing a project, then you will corely know. You don't try to take a help of anything. Okay, you can just search for basic Python programs, and you can see that there are many available. Okay, you can practice your skills through HackerRank and stuff, and also our platform of Scrollwell will help you further improving your skills as well by keeping further sessions. Ma'am will tell you when they will be happening. So yeah, thank you very much. If you have any kind of doubts or any feedback you wanna give, then you are free to. Yeah. Oh, I did not turn on my camera. Yeah, anyone else who wants to say anything? Maybe.
So your number.
Okay, we'll be contacting you. Okay, I'll give you the
Okay, sir.
number.
Please,
later.
sir. Means
Yeah,
if I have any problem, then I can ask you.
yeah, sure. Yeah. Anyone else? Anything else?
So will you be taking more session?
Yes, sir. It will
Uh,
be helpful for us.
Sir, yes, it will be really helpful for
At
us
the
because
weekends means at least 2 hours any day. Weekends, Sunday.
Oh, 2 hours every weekend. Okay, I have to see. I have to schedule. Okay, I will tell you.
Not compulsion the 2 hours only. You can take more than less than that also.
Yeah. Okay. I will tell you. Okay, I will see. I have to
yes,
have
sir,
to see
because
because
for one day it's too much.
yeah, it is indeed. I believe that it's not wrong. It's too much. It's just to give you a basic idea. Even I think that it's not possible to teach you entire programming in such a short span of time. It will take time, more time. But did you guys have a basic idea, or did you understand anything at all? If that helps.
Yes, sir, it was helpful. It was really helpful,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Okay.
It was really very much helpful for us.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. Appreciate your feedback. So, ma'am, can we conclude the session right now?
Yeah. Thank you everyone for being patient
Ma'am,
listeners.
feedback
Even if
form.
I'll send it just 2 minutes. You have listened to sir for a lot of time. You just start to listen to me for 1 minute only. So I have put a message in the group which says that if you want to enroll for our courses or something, it is there. Our Instagram account is there, and recording of this particular session is also there. And one more thing which is very important is community. For example, if you want to like have guidance from sir, Anurag sir, or like from anyone else from our Scrollwell, there are many instructors. So how will you be able to do that if you have been connected with us, right? So for that, if it will be really good if you join that particular community WhatsApp group. And also I'll just post the feedback form, and the certificate will be mailed to you within 2 or 3 hours today itself. Okay. And also in the feedback form, there's an option which says that do you want a dedicated course for it? Okay, so please give your feedback and let us know that if you want a Python course from Anurag sir or not. And if yes, also the length. Like what should be the day length? Like 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, or what? In that sense also. And
As we
thank
are
you.
beginner, it's not possible for us to know means how much session we actually need to complete the session. So it will
Yeah,
be helpful for us if Anurag sir
it
tells.
will be something like probably it will be something like 2 hours on a daily basis, and we'll try to include weekends, Saturday, Sunday, but it's not but yes, apart from weekends also there will be some days, but we'll try to keep it in the evening. Or if you'll just join the group and let us the admins know that this is the time most preferred by you. For example, if you are a college going guy or girl, then it is most preferably we'll shift it to the evening also. Like we can also like negotiate with Anurag sir only and only if we know that most of you are interested like this. Okay. And yes, you can check out more courses on our website. And also, if you fill this feedback form, you'll get the certificate within 2 to 3 hours with the PDF and every link that sir will be sharing to us. And also, if you wish to enroll for the WordPress course, you'll be getting a 200 rupees discount since you have attended this workshop. So thank you very much. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me now. Is the link openable now? Anyone? Okay, please fill this form and do join our community as well. So we'll be ending the session in next 2 minutes so that you all quickly fill the feedback form. Thank you. And best wishes from Scrollwell. Thank you very much.